Oh god, I actually don't know how people take this game seriously. Just look at that. If you guys want coins for FC24, make sure you check out MMOEXP.com. Their link is down in the description. They're very fast, they're very cheap, they're very reliable, and if you use my code REMA, you can get yourself a lovely 5% discount. What's up guys, it's Ash here and welcome back to a brand new video. Now, in today's video guys, I'm going to be showing you some new rat meta tactics because you guys enjoyed the 3-4-2-1 video so much, you know. Me personally, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, I hate using back fives and back threes, but a lot of people, they just want the best tactics to win, and that's fine. So I'm happy to provide that. You know, originally, like, I haven't posted this kind of thing throughout most FIFAs. I don't really post back fives or back threes because I don't really like to promote them. But this year, I couldn't care less, you know. People are using it anyway, so I might as well cash in on that, get some views, and help you guys out if you want to use it. So that's my new view. I hope you guys enjoy the video. We'll be playing a couple of games with it or so. And yeah, let's get right into the video, guys. Enjoy. Alright then, guys. So to become a total rat in FC24, we are going to be using the 5-4-1 second variation. So this one looks a bit like this. Make sure you're using this one. And yeah, this formation is completely broken because it's very overpowered in defense because you got that back five and then that four across the midfield. And then it's also insane in attack because you can use the wing backs, the wide midfielders, the centre mids and the striker. So it's just completely broken. And yeah, here are the tactics, pretty similar to a lot of the formations, but we're going to quickly run through why we use it. So for the defensive style, guys, we always pop this on balance regardless of the formation because it does give you the best control over your defense. When you want to press, you can, and when you want to drop off and maybe be that bit more passive, you can also do that. So I always say, guys, balanced is the way to go. Now, moving on to the defensive width. Again, this is like another thing I always say. Have your width from like 40 to 50. Anywhere between that and you should be fine. The reason being is because you want your defense to be nice, narrow and compact to block out those attacks through the middle, guys. The reason you don't want to go any lower than this is because you still need to have some natural width to the defense to cover the wider areas in case an opponent goes down the wing. So you want to be narrow in your defense but not too narrow at the same time, which is why I think something like 45 is the sweet spot. Now, moving on to the depth, guys, there are a couple of things you can use. You can pretty much use whatever depth you want, but one of the main things people use is this 71 depth thing. Now, 71 depth gives you like this automatic press from the AI, basically congests the entire middle area, marks a lot of your opponent's players, and makes it very difficult for them to play right through you. Now, if you struggle defensively, this is a good option because the AI does a lot of it for you, but if you're a bit more of an experienced FIFA player, you know, you have some defending skills, 71 depth isn't as good because you lack the control that you want when you're defending, you know. So I suggest if you're like good at defending, something like 65 or 60, so you can still have that higher defensive line, you just have a bit more control over when you press. But the moral of the story that, nah, that's not the right saying. The point I'm trying to make is just use the depth that you are comfortable with. I don't know what I was waffling about there, but yeah, moving on. Build-up play, guys. I always suggest to pop this on balance because I think it's the best setting by far, regardless of your play style. I've said this a lot recently, but if you like to play slow build-up sucks because it just means your players barely move at all, and that doesn't help. You know, it doesn't help you build up slowly, just makes your attack and your build-up completely useless. The same way with fast build-up, your players just move around like in a frantic manner, not in a constructive way or anything, just a bit useless. So I think balance is the best because you just get the most consistent and reliable movements out of your players. Now, for the chance creation, guys, I always suggest direct passing because it fits the meta in this game very well, and it's the only way to consistently create chances in this game. This game is very park the bus based, and the only way to consistently break this down is with this direct passing tactic where your attackers will make these runs, opponents' defenders will follow the attacker that's made the run, and then once that defender has overcommitted to the run the attacker's made, your attacker will then make like a track back movement, so then they create this space between the defender and that attacker, so then you can cut back or pass across to them. So it's very ratty and is like the part of that cut back meta, but it is very effective nonetheless. Now, for the width, you can pretty much use whatever you want. Just keep in mind this can be a bit of a wider formation. However, you don't want to completely restrict it so you can only go down the wings. You still want to have some players in the middle too. So I go for something like 56, 57. But honestly, just pick a width that you want. The only thing you really need to know is the lower the width, the more narrow your attack is. The higher the width, the wider it is. So do what you want with that. Now for the players in the box, guys, I popped this on 6 so we can get a few players into that penalty area without over-committing everybody, because we don't want to get counter-attacked when we lose the ball. But again, do what you want with that. Corners, I have this on 2 because occasionally I do cross the ball, but then other times I don't, and I just don't want to over-commit, so this works for me. And then free kicks, I barely cross the ball, and I don't actually at all, so I just have this on 1 because I don't really need anyone in the box if I'm not crossing it. Now, moving on to the player instructions to help you become a rat in FC24, guys. The striker, you're going to want them on stay central and get in behind. Now, stay central is pretty important in a one striker formation, especially because this is the only striker in the team, you know. You want them to be relied upon. You need them to be in the middle, because if they're not there, there's a good chance no one else will be. So you want this player to be there so that you can always rely upon them and use them. You know, a lot of the time it helps you have like that focal point, because you always know that striker's in the middle and that's who you can aim for. We also pop them on getting behind to force movements out of this player, because if you have them on mixed attack, these players can become extremely static and not really offer you anything, especially when your opponent is using like a pressure tactic. If you have them on mixed attack, they just move like complete idiots. So getting behind is probably the best instruction to use. Now for the left mid and the right mid in this formation, again, this is going to take me a while to say, but here we go, guys. Come back on defense, cut inside, get behind, and get into the box for cross. Call me Slim Shady, guys. But we have them on comeback on defense, because if you don't have players with like that high work rate, I do. I have Foden. Oh, Fakir might not, but if you don't have players with the high work rate, sometimes they get a little bit lazy and they don't actually fill in the correct position. So comeback on defense just ensures that they will get into that correct position when you don't have the ball, and will help you defend properly. Cut inside is very useful, because you'll see what we do with our wing backs. So cut inside means they'll start their runs out in the wide area and then make the transitional runs in the more narrow areas to get near the striker, because if you look at this formation, the striker doesn't have much natural support around him, so this really helps. We also pop them on getting behind, so they do utilize their pace to get down the line. This is very important again on right mids and left mids, because the way they're programmed, if you have them on mixed attack, they're just very static and they don't make a lot of runs at all. We also pop them on get into the box for cross, because they're on that cut inside instructions to transition into the narrow areas. This just means they will not hesitate in getting into the penalty area, so this is really useful to have. So both the right mids and the left mids use this instruction. Now, for the right centre mid, we use a more defensive-minded midfielder. I know Hullet's not really defensive-minded, but, you know, he can be a rock. So you just want, like, somebody that can stay back and be a bit of an anchor for you. So Hullet is the one for me. I just have him on stay back and cover centre, you know, just to bring that balance in the midfield. We don't need him to cover the wing because we've got the wide midfielders, so just have him on cover centre. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that right centre mid. For the left centre mid, I use somebody that's going to like attack and defend, do a bit of everything. So on this player, we leave them on the default settings so that they can do whatever they want, essentially. The only thing we change is cover centre, so that they will cover the middle as opposed to the wing, because like I said, they don't need to cover those wider areas. Now moving on to the wing backs, guys, you do have an option here, I would say, but what I like to do is pop these wing backs on join the attack and overlap. Now I would say it's important to have competent wing backs, you know, players that can actually attack, because they're going to provide a lot for you going forward. You're not going to want somebody that is completely clunky and useless, so you're going to want somebody with like that whipped pass plus, maybe relentless plus as well, somebody that can just do a bit in the attack, because they will get forward on this join the attack instruction. The reason we pop them on join the attack overlap is because, like I said, this right mid and the left mid are on the cut inside instruction, which means they're going to go into those more narrow areas, which means if we don't have these wing backs going forward, we're not going to have a lot of width. So when we put these players on join the attack overlap, it means they'll always join the attack on these runs, and then they'll make the overlapping runs to give you that extra width. So we have the wide midfielders going into the narrow areas, and then we have these wing backs overlapping into the wider areas. So it's like an overload, and it's very difficult for your opponent to defend. The beauty of this as well is because it is a back five, you always have these 3 defenders back at a time, regardless of whether or not these fly forward. So it's pretty defensively sound, even when these wing backs are flying forward. If this is a little bit too aggressive for you, however, you can pop them on balanced attack, and they may be just as good, but I do not suggest stay back while attacking, otherwise you're not really going to have a lot going forward. So I just pop them on join the attack and overlap. For the 3 centre backs, we leave them alone, and the keeper, we also leave them alone. But yeah, they're the rat tactics for the 5-4-1, which I definitely don't like to use, but yeah, that's it, guys. I will play a game for you now, but I'm not going to enjoy it. First person we came up against is called Rat FC. He's using a back 5, so it kind of proves my point about this game being back 5 based. And yeah, we're in for a rough one here. Well, ref, that's a red card. Wait, I think I have Fakir, though. Oh, wait, it's a penalty. Watch this guy quit. Oh, my God. See what I mean? Who was this guy? Who was this guy? Well, that's this community in a nutshell. Honestly, man. Oh, dear. Dear. I knew he was going to do it. I knew he was going to do it. Oh, dear. Alright, game 2. Hopefully we don't have a crybaby that quits, even though he's using a back 5 and rat tactics and still can't win. But, yeah, moving on. Nice team, by the way. I ain't used that Cubby Minu yet, but I've heard good things. So, the back 5, like I said, is kind of a lot of this stuff. Switch the play, ping it forward, run with your striker, and then just try and work something in the final third, a bit like that. But, obviously we didn't score. That's pretty much it, you know. I don't have to teach you anything. You know what to do. So like I said, guys, you just switch the play. I can do it again. Like, you just switch until you get up the pitch, essentially. And then you can just do this and maybe just score. That's it. Bang. Damn, this Fakir is actually really good, man. That is basically the most 5-4-1 game I can ever show you. Not too much going in the attack a lot of the time, but your opponent just can't score. So it's really easy if you get a goal, and like you can just switch the ball, switch the ball, switch the ball, switch the ball. That's all you got to do. that is the best example of this formation I can give you. How stupid is that? Bang. Like this formation, silly man. Oh god, I actually don't know how people take this game seriously. Just look at that. Oh crap. Has my Elgato died again? Yeah, it has. Oh, he's quit. One sec. Alright, that's it for the video, guys. Sorry about my Elgato dying again at the end. I do apologise. But yeah, if you guys have enjoyed, if you enjoy this, you're sick. But yeah, if you have enjoyed or found this useful, please be sure to drop it a thumbs up. It does help me out massively. Sub to the channel if you are new, and don't forget to turn on those notifications. And with all that aside, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out, guys.